Good day, Wonder Nurses. I'm Nurse Anne. Our topic for today is all about liver cirrhosis. If you're ready, let's start. I will just discuss first the primary functions of the liver. This will greatly help us in understanding the disease process. First, it produces bile. It is a fluid that helps carry away waste and break down fats in the small intestine during digestion. Next is conversion of excess glucose into glycogen for storage, and it also makes glucose as needed. It also regulates blood levels of amino acids, which form the building blocks of proteins. Production of albumin, clotting factors, and globulins. Albumin maintains the colloid osmotic pressure to hold the fluid inside. Clotting factors prevents bleeding tendencies, while globulins are also proteins in the blood that helps to fight against infection. Lastly, the liver filters all the blood in the body and breaks down toxic substances like alcohol and drugs. Liver cirrhosis. It is a chronic hepatic disease characterized by diffuse destruction of hepatic cells, which are replaced by fibrous cells. Cirrhosis alters liver structure and normal vasculature. It impairs blood and lymph flow and eventually causes hepatic insufficiency. It is irreversible. Causes: alcoholism, autoimmune disease, exposure to hepatitis, and genetics. Types: Laennec's or alcoholic cirrhosis. This is the most common type and it is due to chronic alcoholism. Biliary cirrhosis. This is due to bile flow obstruction like stones or inflammation. Cardiac cirrhosis. It is common to patients with right-sided heart failure. Lastly is the post-necrotic cirrhosis. This is due to toxic substances like drugs or mercury. Other reason is history of hepatitis. Key manifestations: abdominal right upper quadrant pain, possibly because of an enlarged liver. Anorexia, nausea and vomiting, fatigue or weakness, jaundice due to the accumulation of bilirubin in the blood. Lastly is easy bruising. This is because of the decreased production of clotting factors by the liver. Diagnostic procedures: liver biopsy. It is the most definitive test for liver cirrhosis. It detects hepatic tissue destruction and fibrosis. Before the procedure, check the prothrombin time of the patient. During the procedure, instruct the patient not to move, cough, or sneeze. And after the procedure, the proper position is right side lying. Computed tomography scan with IV contrast medium. This is to visualize hepatic blood flow and obstruction. It can also show enlargement of the liver and identify liver masses. Blood tests. The expected result for patients with liver cirrhosis are decreased platelets, hemoglobin, hematocrit, albumin, and serum electrolytes such as sodium, potassium, chloride, and magnesium. There are also elevated levels of ammonia, total bilirubin, aspartate aminotransferase, and alanine aminotransferase. Complications. The first in our list is portal hypertension. There is an increased pressure in the portal vein. This is the large blood vessel that carries blood from the digestive organs to the liver. The increase in pressure is caused by a blockage of blood flow through the liver as a result of cirrhosis. Ascites and edema. This is due to the decreased production of the albumin and at the same time as a result of portal hypertension. Infections. Cirrhosis increases your risk of getting serious infections like bacterial peritonitis. Hepatic encephalopathy. The liver was not able to remove toxins in the bloodstream and eventually it travels through the brain. Liver cancer. Most of the patients have a history of liver cirrhosis. And lastly is liver failure, when the liver fails to perform its many functions. Management. Since it is irreversible, the goals of the treatments are to slow the progression of scar tissue in the liver, to treat symptoms, and to prevent complications of cirrhosis. First, we have to stop drinking alcoholic beverages. Our diet must be low fat and low salt. Treat hepatitis and other causes that will limit further damage of the liver. For ascites and edema, since there is hypoalbuminemia, give egg whites and administer albumin intravenously as ordered. They can also perform paracentesis if necessary. For patient who develops portal hypertension, to compress the esophageal varices, they will put a Sengstaken Blakemore tube. While for patient with hepatic encephalopathy, they will instruct the patient to decrease intake of protein in the diet because of the increase in ammonia. They will also administer neomycin, which is an antibiotic to kill the normal flora and lessen the formation of ammonia. Laxative like lactulose is also administered to excrete the ammonia via large intestine. Lastly is liver transplant if necessary.
Thank you for listening. I hope you learn and understand something. If you want more videos, don't forget to subscribe. See you on the next video.